Welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida, and today I'm bringing you a sweet treat. But first, have you subscribed? If you haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button. All right, let's get into these delicious hummingbird cupcakes. Just like a hummingbird cake, it's basically a banana pineapple spiced cake originated in Jamaica. It is so delicious, y'all. Let's get started. As in any great cake, I'm using flour, butter, sugar, vanilla. I have some bananas and some pineapple for this cake, some cream cheese, eggs, a little bit of vanilla. Let's get started. First of all, I want to mix my wet ingredients. Actually, first of all, I want to mash my bananas. They are not mashed yet. So you see how my banana is very ripe. You want to use ripe bananas anytime you're baking. They are excellent for baking and they're also great for smoothies. But I'm taking 3 ripe bananas, 2 to 3 bananas, and I'm just going to mash these because they're so ripe. They're very easy. Just take a fork and just smash them up real good. So first step is to smash my bananas in this recipe. If this is your first time hearing about a hummingbird cake, please don't let it be your last. If you like bananas, banana nut muffins, banana cake, anything like that, and you also like pineapples, this is the best combination of like a banana pineapple cake. I think it's great for fall, winter. It kind of has those fall flavors and spices in them with the cinnamon. It's delicious. And then you put a cream cheese frosting on it, or guess what? You can just eat them as muffins, really. But if you've never had a hummingbird cake, you can make this recipe in a cake or a cupcake format. I'm making cupcakes today. It is really worth your time and effort. Okay, so you see right there how it just took me a few minutes to mash up those bananas. And once those are mashed, I'm just going to set this bowl to the side and I'm going to use those later on in the recipe. Next up, it's time to start mixing the dry ingredients in a large bowl. So I got my bowl out and now I have my flour that's going into the bowl. Now one thing I did is I cut the recipe in half, so I'm using smaller portions, but I'll put the full recipe in the description. So I have about 1.5 cups of flour right here, and this made a dozen cupcakes. 1.5 cups of flour, and then I went ahead and added in some baking soda right there. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of cinnamon and a pinch of salt. So once all 3 of those ingredients or 4 of those ingredients are in the bowl, then I'm going to just get my whisk and I'm going to whisk that all together. And that was 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and just a pinch of salt. And just give that a quick whisk just to make sure everything is well combined. And then actually I'm going to just keep adding the ingredients to the same bowl. Now this is where it gets interesting because I'm cutting the recipe in half. The recipe calls for 3 eggs, but guess what? I need 1.5 eggs. You can't just buy 1/2 an egg, so I put 2 eggs in a cup, mix them well, and I'm putting the majority of those eggs in my batter. I figure that's 1.5. Next up, I'm adding in my oil, and that's 3/4 cup of oil. Moisture, that's the moisture. So butter's not going into the cupcake, oil is. And I find that oil makes a moist cupcake. Butter can be a little iffy, but I like cupcakes with oil in them. That guarantees a moist cupcake. Plus we have the bananas, plus we have the pineapples, so you know it's going to already be super moist. Gave that a quick stir. And now it's time to add a little bit of vanilla. Or should I say a lot of vanilla, because I love vanilla. So I'm doing about 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm using a vanilla, this is like a vanilla paste. It's a little bit thicker. After that, I'm putting in those mashed bananas. Remember, I mashed the bananas at the beginning of the video, so I'm adding those in right now. And then I want to go ahead and add in my pineapple. And this is crushed pineapple. So you don't want chunks, of course. You want crushed pineapples. And probably in just like a heavy syrup. So it's an 8-ounce can. I'm using half of that, so like 4 ounces of the crushed pineapples. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. When we're baking, we never want to over mix. So you see how I just mixed it a little bit until I have all the ingredients in the bowl. Guess what I forgot? The sugar. We're about to have some sugar-free cupcakes, but here comes the sugar at the end. So I have 1 cup of sugar. It came in just in time. Now I'm mixing everything up in this bowl. And this is the batter for the hummingbird cupcakes. Let me remind you what's in it. Flour, sugar, baking soda, cinnamon, pinch of salt, some eggs, oil, the smashed bananas, pineapple, and let me see, vanilla. And that is everything that's going into this cupcake batter. And that's how it should look. Ready for the oven. All right, next it's time to get the muffin pan ready for the cupcake batter to go into the oven. So I'm lining my muffin pan with the liners. And like I said, this made actually probably about 16 cupcakes. But I have 12 right here that I'm getting ready for the oven. And the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Forgot to say that at the beginning. And then right here, you'll just see that I'll fill these up most of the way with that batter. Not all the way to the top, but about 3/4 of the way up. They don't rise a lot, so this is on the safe side. So I'm just filling my muffin liners up, and then getting these cupcakes ready to go into the oven. So while I'm doing this, let me know, have you ever had hummingbird cake? Let me know in the comments. Please drop a comment. Let me know if you've ever had it. What's your thoughts about hummingbird cake? Are you looking forward to trying this recipe? What is your favorite cake? Carrot cake, chocolate cake, vanilla cake. What type of cake do you like? There are hundreds of cakes out there. What's your favorite? And what I like sometimes is just to take a 2-layer cake recipe and just turn it into cupcakes. You don't have to make the whole thing. So it's just nice and versatile to just switch it up. Sometimes you want cupcakes, sometimes you just want a slice of cake. Depends on how many you're feeding and what's going on. This was just a family midweek treat, so I just decided to make them into cupcakes. If I was making it for like a party or a holiday, I would definitely make that 2-layer cake. Now, one thing about these cupcakes is they do like pecans. So if you have pecans or walnuts, you definitely can add those in. Give it that extra burst of nuttiness. Delicious is what I call them. Everybody can't eat nuts, so I'm going to leave a few without nuts, and I'm making some with nuts. So definitely that's a preference thing, but I do think that the nuts add a little bit of extra character. But if you can't have them, if you're allergic, by all means, the cupcake is still delicious, leaving them out. Looks like we're ready for the oven. So these are about to go into the oven, and they will bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now on to making the cream cheese frosting. And like I said, this is, you can really eat them without the frosting, but the frosting, of course, it takes it up a notch. I love cream cheese frosting. I love it. So we're going to do a quick cream cheese frosting. So easy. I have some cream cheese and some butter. Gonna add in some vanilla and just mix that real quick. And to this, I'll be adding in some powdered sugar. It's almost just that simple. We're not doing too much today. When you're making cream cheese frosting, you don't need to add any liquids. so I don't need to add any milk or anything like that. There's my vanilla. And then next up is the sugar. And I'm going to say about 2 to 3 cups of sugar because I only did 4 ounces of cream cheese, a half a stick of butter because remember, I'm halving the recipe. And this was more than enough. And then I'm going to mix it well till it's nice and creamy. And then we're going to go from there. Oh, but I did add a little something, a little special treat, and that was just a little bit of the pineapple juice. Then after that, I'm going to give it a good mix for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then my cream cheese frosting is ready just like that. Of course, once the muffins or the cupcakes come out the oven, I'm going to let them completely cool because you do not want to put icing or frosting on warm cake or muffins because it'll just melt. And then what good is it? My cream cheese frosting is finished. I made it took 5 minutes. That's how you want it, nice, smooth, and creamy. And so it's ready for when the cupcakes come out the oven and they cool. Then we're just going to go ahead and icing it. Well, I just realized that I did not take that step, that process of putting the frosting on the cupcakes. So you're going to have to use your imagination. I did put the frosting in a bag and just pipe it around, but you can definitely just take a little knife and spread it on the cupcakes. Right here, the cupcakes just came out the oven. Look at them looking all good and stuff. And I just did a knife test just to make sure they were done. I just poked the knife in one of them. It came out dry, so that's how you know that your cake is done or that your muffins or cupcakes are done. Look at those beauties. You see the ones with nuts and the ones without. But as always, thanks for coming in the kitchen. Thanks for baking with me today. I hope you try these hummingbird cupcakes or hummingbird cake, whichever you like. It'll be great for the holidays and just great for any day of the week, actually. I'll see you next time. Until then, have a blessed day and a blessed week. But remember to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Make sure you click that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. See you later.